Aloha snack bar, everyone. It's the one and only the ape in the economist coming to you live on another hump day, hump day, hump day, hump day, hump day, with the one and only man, the myth, the legend, in no particular order, the one and only Bix Weir. The men hate him, the women want to be him. He is the Sultan of Silver. What? Hold on. I'm getting audio in here. Give me 1 second. That just threw me off. Wow. I had some advertisement playing in my headphones. Okay, the man, the myth, the legend. The women love him. The men hate him. He is the Baron of Bitcoin, the Sultan of Silver, the Gandalf of Gold. He is the ring bearer to the road to Ruda. Bix, what's going on, buddy? How are you?
I am awesome. Remember last week we started, it was like Bitcoin, Bitcoin, Bitcoin.
Yes.
Remember that? I tell you, we're getting all our calls right lately. You know, if silver were to pop, then I could say, oh, I can retire happy now.
If silver were to pop, man, it's
coming. You know, it's coming.
It's coming.
It'll be last, of course, and because it is the ultimate death weapon for the banksters. So
it is.
They're going to hold on to the very bitter end. But I've been telling people for years, 150 years of price suppression. It doesn't end with a doubling or tripling in price. It's going to end with a 50 or 100 times what the price is today. So get ready for that.
Yeah, 1,000%, man. Before we went on live on another Hump Day, our inaugural 2017 broadcast, mind you, you made a mention. You said what would happen if Bitcoin and gold were on parity? And I said to myself, ooh, that is where we're going, is it not?
We might hit it during this broadcast. I mean, Bitcoin. Yeah. Hey, Bitcoin's at 1130 right now.
Yeah, man.
And gold's at 1165. So I have a little ticker here. So if it crosses, well, it depends on what exchange you're talking about too. I'm sure in China it's already crossed because China is just on fire these days.
Oh
with
man,
Bitcoin.
Yes.
And there's a reason for that. You know, everybody said, "Oh, you know, China is going to put these constraints on the amount of money you can transfer out and all that." No, China is going to adopt Bitcoin as their currency, along with every other nation. As soon as China is not happy with the banking crowd. They're not happy with the derivative losses they took in 2008. You know, they were going to go to war over those losses, and basically they said, "Okay, it's up to the owner of the derivative if they want to honor it or not," as far as the legal system in China. So they know exactly what's going on, and they do have big plans to adopt Bitcoin on a national scale, which every country in the world will now. Now that we can see what's going on with the market rigging, and everybody knows that the numbers we see are fake, coming out of the government, coming out of the stock markets. And that's the problem. The lies are being exposed, and when you expose a lie, no one's going to trust the system that lied. So that's where we're going. Bitcoin is everybody's like, should I get in now? You know, it's gone up 100% in the last 6 months. Should I get in? I don't know what to do. And I tell them all, listen, I'll tell you, this is what I sent out this morning on my email service at Road to Ruda. Yeah. So sign up. You would have got this email this morning. Here's what I said. Bitcoin has ripped past $1,000 per BTC like it wasn't even there. And the Bitcoin moonshot continues. Should you buy it now that it's risen over 100% in the last 6 months? That's a tough question with a very easy answer. Yes. Buy it to hold through the global monetary meltdown that could hit at any minute. Buy it to hold for the medium and long term. Now, if you trade Bitcoin, you are a risk taker with immense coconut balls. And I love that, coconut balls. And you should probably sell some Bitcoin before the inevitable slam down. You'd be trying to game the game and have fun with that. I never had the constitution or time to do that in such a volatile market. So I just sit and hold and accumulate. If you're someone who understands the importance of Bitcoin in the future, you buy and hold. Hold through the 100% gains, hold through the 100% drops when a government official says they're going to ban Bitcoin. Buy and hold is the only mindset that will not keep you up at night, as the Bitcoin price will get more and more volatile. Remember, Bitcoin is a tiny, tiny market cap, and its utility is limitless, especially when you include all the new Bitcoin technologies that are being built out. Imagine a decentralized verification and authentication tool that will end the lying, cheating, and stealing in not only the financial markets, think no more rehypothecation, but a tool to end fraud in voting, identity theft, record keeping, record storage at the DTCC, and on and on. The blockchain is a truth machine, and it depends 100% on the continued functioning of and acceptance of Bitcoin. The big banks want to embrace blockchain but shun Bitcoin, and that will not happen. So as we venture into the future, be armed and ready with your silver sword and shield and a nice supply of Bitcoin. And that was the email I sent out this morning, and everybody's like, well, what should I do? I don't know. I think I'm buying at the high. Well, you didn't say that. You would have said the same thing 6 months ago because it had gone up 100% in the 6 months before that. You would have said the same thing when I was screaming about it when it was like $220 a coin. Right. You're going to say the same thing when it's at $10,000 a coin. Yes, the Bitcoin price might get slammed. China might announce a ban on Bitcoin and the price gets cut in half. The reality is Bitcoin will be there long past these people in government, long past our fiat monetary system. So there is no right time to buy Bitcoin. Right now, you got hedge funds getting in. You got banks trying to get in. Some of these big players that think there's all that will try to slam Bitcoin, and most likely they'll just lose the Bitcoin that they have because there's other people waiting to buy. And right now it's 1140 and it's inching up to 1165 where gold is. That'll be a big key moment. And it's right around where the all-time high for Bitcoin, topped out when Mt. Gox was around. Like I said, I think it was 1200 entering day. So right now, is it risky to buy Bitcoin? Of course it is. Is it risky in the long term? No. Is it risky in the short term? If you're scared, buy a little bit and then average in. Just wait, and if they drop it 50% or 100%, start buying it then. Or if you don't want to get in, don't get in. But don't come crying to us when Bitcoin's at $100,000 a coin and you said, "Oh man, I should have got in."
Yeah. And then you'll have the naysayers out there still ruminating.
But what can they say? They've already lost their take and says, "Oh no, Bitcoin will never amount to anything." Well, it's already amounted to something, right? And the question is, when will you sell? So it's like they should have gotten in with their brilliant call that Bitcoin will never amount to anything, and then they could have sold and made 200, 300, 400%. So they got it wrong.
Absolutely, they always get it wrong. I don't know what the old school gold bugs are going to be doing, man. I don't know if they're going to be crying, or otherwise they're going to be like, man, they're going to be really sour, sour.
I know where they are. I was there. Yeah. I understood it. I didn't understand it. I didn't know what Bitcoin was in the beginning. Nobody did. Nobody. A few really smart people did. But yeah, it was weird. It was electronic money. It could disappear with a blink of an eye and blah, blah, blah. We've been through that argument a million times.
Right.
And the old gold bugs are saying, well, it's this unbacked fiat system that we've been waiting for crashing for so long that's the problem. And gold is the solution. And I'd say, yeah, gold is a solution. But there's a couple problems with that. The transactional problem is obvious.
Right.
Walking around with a tenth of a hundredth of an ounce of gold to buy a pack of bubble gum. And don't tell me that silver will be the solution for the coins, because silver is going to be worth as much as, if not more than gold. And it should have been for a long time.
Right. And the utility aspect of it. Look, in order for you to deal in gold, I mean, look at Venezuela. It's a prime. I mean, of course, not going to be the exact, thing that's going to happen, but there's a lot of things we can learn from Venezuela. Those with gold, in order to transact, you got to go find somebody else who has gold or who's willing to take gold, this, that, and the other.
It's a good store of wealth, but it's not the best for transactional stuff. And yes, you can create something that is gold backed. I don't think any gold backed type of currency is going to work, because unless it's fully redeemable at a bank, you can walk in with your gold backed $100 bill and get $100 worth of physical gold, because of the loss of trust that's going to go on. But yeah, there's electronic gold that you can say, okay, I've got 10 ounces of gold in my bank and it's linked to this debit card and I can use that. Yeah, that's a possibility and probably a likelihood. There's another problem with gold, in that there's massive, massive, massive amounts of physical gold available and in the ground waiting to be mined, that I've been digging into the last 10 years. And this is when I was a gold bug. So I'm not just pulling this stuff out of my butt. There's massive amounts of gold in the Grand Canyon. There's massive amounts of gold at Chocolate Mountain in California. Dianne Feinstein has literally cordoned off almost all of Southern California under a national, a desert wildlife preserve, because it is full of gold.
Wasn't that because she wants to protect the Chicago dung beetle?
That's the excuse. Same thing with the Anwar Alaskan oil finds. That's what the government does. They'll put all the real stuff, the stuff we have in the ground, the commodities we find, we're going to leave it in the ground until we have to use it. And until then, we're going to print these electronic blips and call them, Federal Reserve notes or whatever they're calling them these days. And that's the key. And there is massive amounts of gold, and I've proven it 100 times. Just go to the website. I have an article called Golden Secrets that I show how much gold, from Yamashita's gold to the gold in the Grand Canyon to all the secret gold hidden with the Chinese royal families and all that stuff. It's all real. It's all true. This is not just somebody making it up so that you stay away from gold. Look at the volumes on the LBMA and the COMEX. Well, the COMEX is even supposed to be all electronic, futures and options, but the LBMA is supposed to be the real stuff, and the volumes are through the roof. Is it the real stuff? No, it's not. But you sit there and you ask yourself, why does Germany take so long to get their gold back when that same amount of gold trades every day on the LBMA? Why don't they just go to the LBMA and buy all that gold that supposedly the Federal Reserve has squandered away? So yeah, a lot of secrets